Every morning, before the world asks anything from you, your mind is already being trained. The question is, who is training it? Your fears? Your phone? Other people's opinions? Or you? Most people wake up and immediately surrender control. They reach for noise, comparison, anxiety, and distraction before their feet even touch the floor. Then they wonder why they feel weak, restless, and mentally exhausted all day. The Stoics understood something most people never learn. The first moments of your morning quietly shape the strength of your entire life. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Stoic Hypnosis channel. In this video, you will discover 5 powerful Stoic morning habits designed to discipline your thoughts, control your emotions, and prepare your mind for whatever the day may bring. But the final habit is the one most people avoid because once you practice it, you can no longer blame the world for the life you're living. Stay until the end. Your mornings may never feel the same again. Now, let's get started. Part 1. Begin the day by remembering that nothing is owed to you. One of the greatest mistakes people make each morning is believing that today somehow owes them happiness, success, or comfort. When reality fails to meet those expectations, frustration quietly takes over. A delayed message ruins the mood. A difficult coworker steals the peace. An unexpected problem feels like a personal attack. The Stoics trained themselves differently. Before the sun fully rose, they reminded themselves of a simple but life-changing truth. Nothing is promised and nothing is guaranteed. You are not entitled to an easy day. You are not entitled to perfect health. You are not entitled to everyone's respect or approval. At first, this sounds harsh, but in reality, it is deeply liberating. Because the moment you stop expecting life to be fair, you stop being shocked when it isn't. Marcus Aurelius would prepare his mind before facing the world. He knew he would meet selfish people, impatient people, dishonest people, and those blinded by their own fears. Instead of hoping they would change, he changed his expectations. That single shift gave him peace long before the first challenge appeared. Imagine walking into your day already knowing that delays may happen, criticism may come, plans may fail, and people may disappoint you. Would those moments still have the power to break your spirit? Probably not. Most emotional suffering is born not from reality itself, but from the distance between reality and our expectations. The smaller that distance becomes, the calmer the mind grows. So tomorrow morning, before checking your phone or thinking about your responsibilities, pause for one quiet minute. Take a slow breath and tell yourself, today owes me nothing. Everything I receive is an opportunity, not an entitlement. Those few words may not change the world around you, but they will change the way you walk through it. And that is where true mental strength begins. Part 2. Spend a few minutes in complete silence before the world speaks to you. Most people lose the battle for their minds within the first 5 minutes of waking up, not because something terrible happened, but because they immediately invite the entire world into their heads. A notification, a headline, someone else's success, someone else's anger, someone else's opinion. Before they have even heard their own thoughts, they are already carrying the weight of everyone else's. The Stoics understood that a mind constantly reacting to outside noise can never become truly free. That is why one of the most powerful morning habits is also one of the simplest. Begin the day in complete silence. No phone, no television, no music, no social media, just you and your own mind. At first, silence can feel uncomfortable. In fact, many people avoid it because silence reveals the thoughts they have been running from for years. It exposes hidden fears, unfinished grief, old regrets, the anxiety beneath the endless distractions. But this is precisely why silence is so valuable. You cannot heal a mind you refuse to listen to. Marcus Aurelius often turned inward before turning outward. He understood that wisdom is not found in the loudest voice around you, but in the quiet conversation you have with yourself. Ask yourself simple questions. What kind of person do I want to be today? What can I control? What thoughts deserve my attention, and which ones should I let go? Do not rush to answer. Let the silence speak first, because clarity rarely arrives in chaos. It arrives in stillness. Imagine starting every morning without immediately surrendering your attention to strangers on the internet. Imagine building your day from your own values instead of someone else's emotions. That is real freedom. The strongest people are not those who always have the right answers. They are the ones who create enough silence to hear the truth before the noise begins. Tomorrow morning, give yourself just 5 quiet minutes. Sit by a window, watch the sunrise, listen to your breathing. Do nothing except be present. The world will still be waiting for you. But when you finally step into it, you will no longer be reacting to it. You will be leading yourself through it. And that quiet victory, achieved before anyone else is awake, is how an ordinary morning begins to shape an extraordinary life. Before we continue, take a quiet moment and ask yourself, how many mornings have you truly lived for yourself instead of simply reacting to the world? If even one idea in this video has spoken to you, let me know by leaving a simple "Strength begins within" in the comments. I'd love to know you're walking this path with us. And if you're searching for greater clarity, stronger discipline, and a calmer mind in a world full of noise, consider subscribing. Every video on this channel is created to help you cultivate the timeless wisdom of Stoicism. One habit, one lesson, and one morning at a time. Now, let's continue with the next habit. It may be the one that changes the way you see every challenge for the rest of your life. Part 3. Rehearse the difficulties before they arrive. Most people begin their mornings hoping that nothing will go wrong. The Stoics began theirs expecting that something probably would. At first, this sounds like pessimism, but it isn't. It is preparation. There is a profound difference between living in fear of the future and calmly preparing your mind for what the future might bring. The Stoics called this practice premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of difficulties. Each morning, before stepping into the uncertainty of the day, they would quietly imagine the obstacles they might face: a misunderstanding, a harsh criticism, a financial setback, a missed opportunity, an unexpected loss. Not because they wanted these things to happen, but because they refused to let them catch them unprepared. Think about how often your peace has been stolen by something small. A rude comment from a stranger, a delayed phone call, a plan that suddenly fell apart, an email you didn't want to receive. These moments are rarely powerful on their own. What gives them power is surprise. The mind that expects life to move in a straight line is easily shaken by the smallest detour. But the mind that has already accepted uncertainty remains steady, even when the unexpected arrives. Imagine a sailor setting out to sea. He does not pray for endless sunshine while ignoring the possibility of storms. He prepares the sails. He checks the ropes. He learns how to navigate rough waters before the wind ever changes. That is wisdom. Life works the same way. Mental strength is not built by avoiding hardship. It is built by becoming familiar with it before it appears. Every morning, spend just a few moments asking yourself, what challenge might I face today? If someone misunderstands me, how will I respond? If my plans change, will I complain or adapt? If I lose something I value, can I still keep my character? These questions are not meant to create anxiety. They are meant to remove it, because once your mind has already walked through the possibility, reality loses much of its power to shock you. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself that every person he met would act according to their own nature. Some would be impatient, some selfish, some dishonest. He did not rehearse these possibilities to become bitter. He rehearsed them so that kindness would remain his choice, not his reaction. That is the difference between an ordinary mind and a disciplined one. One waits for life to decide its mood. The other decides its character before the day even begins. Tomorrow morning, before rushing into your responsibilities, pause for a moment. Picture one challenge that could realistically appear. Then quietly say to yourself, if this happens, I will meet it with patience. If it becomes difficult, I will remain steady. If I cannot control it, I will control myself. Because the strongest people are not those who experience fewer storms. They are the ones who have already learned, long before the rain begins, how to stand without being blown away. Part 4. Remember that your time is running out. There's one thought that most people spend their entire lives trying to avoid, not because it is false, but because it is painfully true. One day, this morning, will be your last. You don't know when. You don't know where. And that uncertainty is exactly what gives this moment its value. The Stoics never reflected on death to become fearful. They reflected on it so they could finally begin to live. Marcus Aurelius often reminded himself that every sunrise was a gift, not a guarantee. He knew that the person who remembers life's fragility does not waste energy on meaningless arguments, shallow approval, or endless comparison. Because when you truly understand that your time is limited, you stop postponing the life you were meant to live. Think about how many mornings have disappeared without you even noticing. How many cups of coffee you drank while your mind was somewhere else. How many conversations with your parents you rushed through because you believed there would always be another chance. How many times you told yourself, I'll start tomorrow. I'll apologize later. I'll chase my dream when life becomes easier. But life has a quiet habit of taking away the tomorrows we thought we owned. The saddest part is not that people die. The saddest part is that so many never truly live before they do. They spend decades preparing for a future they may never reach, always waiting, always delaying, always believing that the right time is still ahead. Then one day, they look back and realize that the best years of their lives were spent surviving, not living. This is why the Stoics practiced memento mori. Remember that you must die, not as a threat, but as a wake-up call. A reminder that every sunrise carries a silent question. If today were your last ordinary day, would you still spend it this way? That question has the power to strip away everything unnecessary. Suddenly, your ego feels smaller. Your excuses become weaker. Your resentment loses its grip. The opinions of strangers become almost meaningless, because none of them will matter when your time finally runs out. Tomorrow morning, before the world begins asking for your attention, Take one quiet breath and remind yourself, I have been given one more day that millions of people never received. How will I honor it? Will you waste it worrying about things beyond your control? Or will you use it to become a little wiser, a little kinder, a little stronger than you were yesterday? The clock has never promised to slow down for anyone. Every sunrise is quietly subtracting one day from your life. The question is not whether time is passing. It always is. The real question is this: when this day becomes nothing more than a memory, what kind of person will you have become because of it? Part 5. Win the first battle. Before the day begins, every morning, before you speak to another person, before you answer a message, before you step outside your home, there is already a battle taking place, not in the world, but within you. It is the quiet battle between discipline and comfort, between purpose and procrastination, between the person you want to become and the person your habits keep creating. Most people believe their biggest enemies are difficult people, bad luck, or unfortunate circumstances. The Stoics believed otherwise. They knew the greatest obstacle was often the voice inside that whispered, "Do it later. Skip it today. You deserve to rest a little longer." That voice never sounds dangerous. In fact, it sounds kind, reasonable, comforting. But if you obey it every morning, year after year, it quietly steals your future. Because character is not destroyed by one catastrophic decision. It is eroded by thousands of tiny compromises that nobody else ever sees. One alarm ignored, one promise broken, one excuse accepted, then another, and another, until one day you wake up living a life you never intended to create. The Stoics understood something that modern life often forgets. Freedom is not doing whatever you feel like doing. True freedom is no longer being controlled by every passing feeling. Anyone can act when motivation is high. Anyone can be disciplined when life is easy. But real strength reveals itself on the mornings when you don't feel like trying, when your bed feels warmer than your purpose, when your excuses sound more convincing than your dreams. Those are the moments that shape your destiny, not because they are dramatic, but because they are repeated. Marcus Aurelius did not wait to feel inspired before rising from bed. He reminded himself that he had a duty to live according to his nature, to contribute, to act with virtue. He understood that comfort was temporary, purpose was lasting, and every morning he chose purpose. Imagine if, before reaching for your phone, you completed one small act of discipline. You made your bed, you stretched your body, you read one page of wisdom, you wrote down one clear intention, you sat quietly for 5 minutes without distraction. These actions may appear insignificant, yet they send a powerful message to your subconscious. I am the one in control. That message, repeated every morning, slowly transforms your identity. You no longer become someone who wishes for a better life. You become someone who builds it. One deliberate choice at a time. So tomorrow morning, before the world asks anything of you, ask yourself one question. What is the first difficult thing I can do today? Then do it. Without negotiation, without waiting for motivation, without making excuses, because the first victory of the day is rarely seen by anyone else. Conclusion. The quality of your life is rarely determined by one extraordinary decision. More often, it is shaped by the ordinary choices you make before the rest of the world wakes up. These 5 Stoic morning habits are not about becoming perfect. They are about becoming a little calmer, a little wiser, and a little stronger each day. Over time, those small victories become the foundation of an unshakable mind. So tomorrow morning, don't ask yourself, how can I have a better day? Instead ask, how can I become a better person before the day even begins? Because when you master your mornings, you slowly begin to master your life. If this video inspired you or gave you a new perspective, please consider subscribing to the channel and becoming part of this growing community of people seeking wisdom, discipline, and inner peace. Your support truly motivates us to continue creating thoughtful content that helps people build stronger minds and live more meaningful lives. Thank you for taking the time to watch until the end of the video. See you in the next videos.